Welcome to Sound 101. I'm Andrew from Deity Microphones, and today we are going to learn all about soldering out of necessity. See what happened here in the studio? Someone ran over our XLR cable, and that's just not going to work. Now when you plug it into the microphone, it doesn't actually make a joint, and it wiggles quite a bit. That's going to create a lot of static. It's going to create a lot of cracks and pops, and you're going to think you have a broken microphone when really you have a broken $3 connector. So today we're going to put this brand new connector on this old cable. But we're not just going to change out this cable, we're going to put that cable inside of this boom pole. This boom pole allows you to remove the tip so you can put a cable through and it will come out the bottom. What that allows us to do is have an internal cabled shoot through pole. So let's start cutting. All I'm using right now are some flush cutters, and we're just going to cut right in half. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove just about 1 inch away of the outer jacket without trying to ding the shield. I'm using flush cutters. I've done this a lot. Some people are going to say, oh, you got to use a wire stripper. I've never found that to be the case. And we're going to take that shield, twist it all up. Now what you're going to do is fold back any paper and get rid of it. So what we've done is we've removed the jacket of the cable. We've actually got 4 different leads. I'm going to ignore the 2 small leads altogether. Most cables only have 2. And a shield, and there we go, just 2 and a shield. Well, all we got to do now is trim away about 1/2 centimeter on each. Now, what we're going to be doing for this soldering, because most people think soldering takes a lot of really expensive tools. I bought this at a dollar store. I think it literally cost $1. And our soldering iron that we're going to be using today is only like $10. So there's absolutely no excuses why you can't do this. So we've put it up, as you can see, we've strung it up into 3 separate braids, and it's time to tin the wires. We tin the wire because it gets the solder and the flux onto the wire. We go put it on the metal, it transfers a lot easier and quicker. If we didn't have this, it would be a lot harder, and you could also end up with what's called a cold solder joint. A cold solder joint is something that allows the connection to happen, but not really happen, and you can prevent cold solder joints by tinning your wires first. We always solder in a ventilated area. We have a lot of ventilation here in the studio, and don't forget to clean your tip. So now it's time to get the boom pole out. This is the most important step. Don't forget to do this. If you start putting the connector on, you're gonna have to do it all over again. Undo the base, and we're just gonna feed this thing through. Just like this. Boom. So now it is time to put the pole back together. We gotta put the tip back on. The secret here is to hold it in its assembly, put the wire through, and then start screwing it on. And there you go, comes right through. I'm gonna pull about 1 foot of wire just so I have room for our pistol grip. And we're just gonna screw this right back into place. Now let's do the bottom. And there we go. All cabled up. And now it's time to put the connector back on. What you want is to make sure pin number 2 is going to get your audio signal, pin number 1 is going to be your ground, and pin number 3 is your cold. And we're going to actually put a little solder in these cups, preparing them for tinned wire. You want to heat the cup up and then melt your solder into the cup. If you have too much smoke, it means you're burning off all the flux and you're not going to get a good connection. And now it's time to marry the 2. We're going to solder this to here. Well, first, it's very important. You got to put it through the strain relief. The strain relief, if you leave this off, you're going to do it all over again. Also the clamp, this is your whole system that holds it in. Nice and easy to do it beforehand. And now we're going to solder this up. You want the hot to go to pin number 2, you want the cold to go to pin number 3, and you want the shield to go to pin number 1. So let's solder it all up. When you're soldering, you want to make sure that the solder becomes mirror-like finish, so you know you brought it all the way up to temperature. If it doesn't, you're not going to get a good solder joint. So we're going to put now the hot over on pin number 2. Pin number 2 is the one that's on the left of the connector. And heat the cup up. And we're there. Okay, and now we're going to do the ground wire. That's the shield, that's that copper. And what we're probably going to do is also add a little bit of extra shielding to it. And there you go. What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit extra solder just to make that super nice and stiff so it doesn't fray on us. When you don't have it shielded with like a silicone or a heat shrink, it can sometimes fray and touch the other wires. What I want is to make sure that doesn't happen, so I like to add a little bit of extra solder. And there you go, 1 soldered cable. We're just gonna insert this, Slide the lock into place. Holds it all down. And then we'll slide the strain relief, screw it together. Now let's check this versus our original connector. And there you go, no wiggle. That's what you want. And just like that, we now have our pole all cabled up. If I undo this lock, it comes out the backside. And that's what you really want in a boom pole, nice internal cable. And there you have it. We repaired our XLR cable by putting a brand new, better connector on it. We even gave you some tips on how to be a soldering genius, and we upgraded this boom pole to now be a cabled boom pole. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, like, follow, and subscribe on all the social media platforms. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think we should be doing in our next videos. Best comment is gonna win the VMic D3 Pro. I'm Andrew from Deity Microphones. Thank you for watching.